My name is Alex Brackett, and this is The Word. So if I could title this message for you, it's going to be, Go Find a Family, Not a Church. So Hebrews 11, 6 through 7 says this, And without faith living within us, it would be impossible to please God. For we come to God in faith, knowing that He is real and that He rewards the faith of those who passionately seek Him. Faith opened Noah's heart to receive revelation and warnings from God about what was coming, even things that had never been seen. But he stepped out in reverent obedience to God and built an ark that would save him and his family. By his faith, the world was condemned, but Noah received God's gift of righteousness that comes by believing. So today, go find a family, not a church. So the reason why I say that is this, and I'll just start saying this. I have a great family. I have a great mom, I have a great dad, and I have a great stepmom. They did an awesome job raising me, and they did the best for me that they possibly could, and they would still do anything for me to this day. So the reason why I say go find a family, not a church, is this, is that God called me and my family to do things a little differently than how my parents were raised. And I think that a lot of us, especially maybe even here in Walker County or where you live, God's asking you to do things a little different. Or when we look at situations that sometimes maybe your family didn't raise you the right way, maybe that you were abused, maybe things happen to you that you say, I never want anything like that to ever happen to my family again. Or you found yourself caught where your family is full of drug addiction or full of alcoholism or full of hate or full of things that you just want to raise your family differently. And my encouragement to you today is this. Go find a family, not a church, because sometimes we look at church as a way of, well, what can this thing do for me? But the truth is that God is calling us to truly be a kingdom family and to find people to do life with. So how about this? Have you given God your yes? Have you really said yes to the Father? And I pause because I want you to think. Because the answer to this question is whether this message, the rest of this word, is relevant to you or not. If you have given God your yes, this is what that looks like. It looks like you will go anywhere that God asks you to go. There was a time when me and my wife, we traveled, we've been to several different cities, but God asked us to come to Jasper, Alabama. And you may think that Jasper is probably one of the most random places in the United States, but that's where God told us to come, and we did. And when we came, we found kingdom family. But we would have never made it here had we not given God our real yes. So you have to give God your yes. And that means that you will go anywhere and do anything to get into the place, into the family that God has called you to get into. So if you said yes, your journey has truly begun. And what I want to explain to you is this, what family looks like versus what church looks like. So family, in a true family, we become unoffendable. It means that no matter what someone says to us, we assume that they have our best interest at heart. But in church sometimes, if the pastor or whoever, the leader in the church, says something to us that rubs us the wrong way, we become uncomfortable, we get offended, and then we leave. And at that moment, we stop our growth in who we are in God. So we have to take our mindset of the church versus family. We have to start now looking at a place where we can do life with a group of like-minded believers. And if we can get into a place like that, we can become where we are unoffendable. We can become to a place where we can allow people to pour into our marriages, to pour into our families, to pour into the quality of who we are, and understand that in family, people love you and they don't think the worst of you. Because we have a tendency sometimes when people says we're doing something wrong to think that they think the worst of us. But the truth is that in true family, in true kingdom family, we are able to look at someone else and say, man, I love you, but you've got to do some things that change. And in return, in family, we have to become vulnerable enough to say, okay, this person loves me and I've got to make some changes. But we can't do that until we give God our yes. And we can't do that until we tell God that we'll go anywhere that we need to go. So I want you to start thinking, to start praying about finding family and not a church. So what does that mean for you? That means that you have to start asking God, God, where do you want me to be? You have to say, no matter where in the United States or in the world, God, where do you want me and my family? Where are the people? Where's the group of like-minded believers that you want me with? What does that look like for my family? So you answer that. Then next, you find that place. You plug in. And then you don't leave if someone hurts your feelings. And I know that's hard to say sometimes, but you don't go to a place. I remember when I was 15 years old, I went to a place called Chickasaw Assembly, right? This church, they sang hymns, they had pews, they had all the things that kind of drove me crazy, right? But God told me, I want you there, and I don't want you to leave, regardless of the things that I didn't like. And I think that as believers, we have to get into that mindset that we're going to have to sometimes go to places that we don't agree with everything, that we don't agree with the pastor, we don't agree with leadership. We have to go there because God told us to and for no other reason. And lastly, I'll say this, Hebrews 11:6. And without faith living within us, it would be impossible to please God. For we come to God in faith, knowing that He is real and that He rewards the faith of those who passionately seek Him. I want to encourage you to passionately seek the Father no matter what. I want you to go out and ask Him, God, I will go anywhere in this country. I will take my family anywhere in order to find a group of like-minded believers to do life with. It's so important that you do that. It is important to your marriage. It is important to your kids. It is important to the kingdom that you find people that you can be vulnerable with, that you can truly love and truly call family. So today, ask God, where do you want me and my family? Am I in the right place? And if you can say yes to that, I want you to dig in. And if it's no, I want you to fast and pray until you find the right place. So please passionately seek the Father.